Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman is charming his way around the globe. The 32-year-old heir to the throne is being praised for rooting out corruption and modernizing the kingdom.
There are signs of reform in Saudi Arabia.
The government announced it would hold trials for 11 princes accused of corruption.
Hear this. Saudi Arabia has just announced it will allow women to drive cars.
Not women and cars, but behind all the fanfare, the Crown Prince is fanning the flames of war against his enemies in Iran. He's already in a proxy war with the Ayatollah in Yemen that's killed thousands and is costing Saudi Arabia billions. And this week, the Crown Prince upped the stakes.
Does Saudi Arabia need nuclear weapons to counter Iran?
Saudi Arabia does not want to acquire any nuclear bomb. But without a doubt, if Iran developed a nuclear bomb, we will follow suit as soon as possible.
Mohammad lands in Washington tomorrow, where he'll meet with President Donald Trump, another hardliner on Iran. And the Crown Prince will be reunited with his friend Jared Kushner, Trump's envoy for the Middle East. As he arrives in the U.S., Mohammed is facing new criticism. This week, NBC News reported the Crown Prince stashed his own mother away for the past 2 years, fearing she'd block his power grab. He also imprisoned hundreds of the country's richest businessmen and the Riyadh Ritz-Carlton in what he called a crackdown on corruption. So room service, but still in prison. According to the Wall Street Journal, it was really a brutal extortion scheme to gain control of Saudi's biggest companies, giving him veto powers in some companies connected to Western firms like Twitter and Lyft, and even Canada's Royal York and Banff Springs hotels. As the mysterious Crown Prince starts his U.S. tour, many are asking if his visit is a charm offensive or a prelude to war. Robert Jordan is the former U.S. ambassador to Saudi Arabia under George Bush and author of Desert Diplomat. He joins me from Dallas. So, I want to get your sense. What do you think watching all of this? Is Prince Mohammed, is he a modernizer or is he a warmonger or both?
Well, I've been calling him a progressive authoritarian. I think he is trying to bring the kingdom kicking and screaming into the 21st century, but he's using authoritarian means to do it. So we've seen his statements very recently suggesting that this is like shock treatment for a society that was moving too slowly, too indecisively, and the time has come to take charge.
And now he is about to meet with Donald Trump. He is comparing the Ayatollah to the next Hitler. He's refusing to rule out nuclear war. Is there a fear that this is heading towards war? I mean, this is happening at a time as there are rumors that Donald Trump wants to replace his national security director, H.R. McMaster, with John Bolton. You know him. Very much a hawk on Middle East affairs. Is there something happening here? Is there some kind of backroom dealing or discussion happening here about another war in the Middle East?
My guess is they talk a little bit about war, but that's not likely to happen. I think what's more likely to happen is we could see occasional skirmishes, but there's really no strategic advantage that the Saudis would have, at least, in going to war with Iran. If they had American help, there would be perhaps a greater likelihood of success, but that's really not in anyone's best interest right now. I think what they want to do is provide a counterbalance against Iran's influence in the region, against the activities of Iran in Yemen, in Qatar, Lebanon, and Syria. And so they're going to be talking a lot about that, and I think war is still quite some way off, even if the nuclear deal is rejected.
He's taken over the armed forces. He's locked up powerful people. He's seized billions of dollars, imprisoned his mom. He's brutal, but wouldn't say he's stupid.
Well, no. He has a very clear vision. He has this program called Vision 2030 that was actually drafted by McKinsey and Company and is trying to reform the Saudi economy, which it very much needs. And so he's on the right track in many ways. I think people would question perhaps his techniques, but he says this is like shock treatment. It is chemotherapy for the society, I think he has also said. And so he defends his tactics in that regard.
So much to watch for there. Robert Jordan, thank you so much for being with us today.
My pleasure.